Welcome back to the next episode of
How are you, Lovie? That was better.
That was much better. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's not go back through the amount of times he had to do a retake of that. The man from broadcasting. Anyway, welcome back.
Yes.
I am Aisling.
I'm Carl.
And we are a couple, busy lives, and we just like to do our weekly catch-ups and keep the mics rolling for it.
This is my job on the podcast. Ash gets us into it. Reminder to subscribe, rate, review, and share the podcast with anyone you think might enjoy the podcast, because it's really helpful going forward. Genuinely, it actually is very much helpful.
It's very, very helpful, yes.
Subscribe.
Thank you to everyone who's done so, by the way. It's really, really helpful.
Subscribe, rate, review, share. Thanks, lads. Genuinely, it is. It's actually so lovely when you put something out there and people actually get back to you like, oh my God, people are actually listening.
Yes. Let's start with Carl Mullan. How are you, Lovie?
Jesus, yeah, I'm rattled after today now. We did a lovely week, a busy week, you know, the usual.
The usual.
Nothing out of the normal, but
You had a parenting fail today.
I had a howler today. So, and the worst thing is, because of modern technology, it's all caught on the video
front door
doorbell.
camera, yeah.
Okay, so we had to go out this morning because Angie last night, you had her out for a walk and she rolled in fox poo.
Little wagon.
So we were like, right, we'll bring her up to the doggy wash.
Yes.
So we brought her out, did that, got coffees.
Yes.
Just had a bit of a drive around the place because Bavian was having a nap as well. But then we got home and we were kind of doing a quick turnaround because we were going to meet friends in the park.
Yes.
So I wanted to get changed. So we got out of the car and I
had to feed Bavian and we were running behind. And I said, I'm going to feed Bavian if you look after the other two kids to get them in the door car.
Yeah. So I got Ayla out first and I said, okay, Ayla, go in after Mam there. And it was grand. She ran in after. And then I got Davey out. And then he dropped some. No, do you know what it was? He had, we'd gotten them, when we got coffees, we got them like a little fruit shoot.
Yes.
And he got the fruit shoot bottle and he kind of fired it on the ground. I was like, no. We don't do that. I was just giving them the whole dad thing. I was like, no. Pick that up. We're going to bring it inside. So I was distracted momentarily with that. Anyway, grand. He got out of the car and I was like, I'm going to race you in. So he legged it in the front door and then I legged it in after him.
And closed the door behind.
Closed the door. I ran upstairs to get changed and I'm like with my top off upstairs and the doorbell goes and simultaneously Ash is like, Ayla, are you in the house? And I was like, yeah. And I came down the stairs and the neighbour from across the road had Ayla at the front door. And what had happened was I got out of the car. I said, you go in after Mammy. And she ran after you. But she literally at the last second, just as I averted my gaze back to Davy, she hooked a left, went in front of our parked car, went around the other side of the car. And as I was running in the front door, she came back out the other side. So she kind of did a circle of the car.
Yeah.
And I closed the front door and didn't realise. And I watched this back on the... I watched it back on the camera and like God love her straight away. She was like, Daddy! She got a fright.
Yes, yeah.
And she ran straight to the front door and in fairness to our neighbour across the road, he heard her straight away. Like
it was about 20 seconds.
It was 20 seconds between the front door closing and the front door opening back up again. So good on him. Like he was on it. And it was one of those things we would have clocked it fairly quickly anyway. Oh, Jesus. There's sometimes certain things happen as a parent and like it's a gut punch, as in the guilt of it is a gut punch.
Yes.
You okay?
I don't like seeing you because I knew you were upset over it. So I was like, it's horrible.
So
it's a
you're
guilt. Yeah, because I feel so sorry for her. But I'm also like, it was shit parenting, Carl. Like, you know, I even said, I'm not even going to speak to you about how frustrated I am with the situation because I was angry with you, but I haven't even voiced that to you because I'm like, I know you're feeling guilt.
Well, I was angry at myself because it was just
so I don't need to say that to you. So
it was just one of those things where you're like, oh my God. And even now I'm like, right,
she's fine, she's all good.
Like
Dave across the road saved her.
Yeah, and I just like I now even in my head I'm like I have a new protocol in my head that I will follow.
But you had to learn that. But
it was just one of those things where the timing of it was so perfect where it was literally the second because I thought she was in and it was literally the second I looked off to my left, she goes in.
And the other thing to note is when you do look back at the camera, she had gone up to the door first, the first step to get into the door, and then she took a hook and came back down. And you stopped her at that point and said, no, go back up. Yeah. So you had already stopped her.
Yeah.
She's just wildfire, isn't she? Like she's quick-footed, she's wildfire.
She's great crack.
She's Carl's spirit animal, let's be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what the funny thing is though? It's like I was very risk averse as a child. So I actually think I'm probably closer to what Davey's like. But she is just like, even we went to the playground and she's like, let's go. She's not even 2.
No.
And she's climbing everything and she's legging around the place and she's great fun. But yeah, oh God, just one of those experiences as a parent where you're like, just a gut punch. And yeah. But anyway, look, that was my experience today. So other than that, a wonderful week. An absolutely wonderful week.
Well, I'm
but
glad
that one
you had a wonderful week.
Scared the daylights out of me, yeah. How about you? How are you, Lovie?
Well, I'm good. I am good. Let me think about this week now. Oh, I got an MRI a couple of weeks ago for my hip. I've been having what would you say? I'd kind of be on a good roll with my hip, and then it would just like walking and stuff at the moment. The right hip just wouldn't be fantastic. And then when I'm doing yoga, I've just been struggling to do a lot of the moves and stuff. So I suppose we went to get an MRI. Physio was like, you need to go get an MRI. So I was like, grand, off I go.
Just for a bit of context, for people, like ever since I've known you, your back has kind of the odd time like spasmed and you might have a couple of days, you know.
Yes. So when we first start going out without each other, when we first kind of started seeing each other, I would have done yoga religiously.
Yeah.
And that all would have been back related. And then just with of my childbearing years. So I'm probably not doing yoga as much. I wouldn't be doing it daily anyway.
But look, and I think any of you listening now who are like either in busy jobs or with kids,
it's
the first thing to go is like the self-care aspect of your life.
Yes. So I'm in this my year now. So I said after baby, and I'm in my eat, pray, love year again of like, I just need to get myself sorted. So the hip coming out of this pregnancy has not been fantastic. So the physio's like, look, we need to get you another MRI. So I was like, that's fair enough. Got the MRI. So and it's come out that I've got this, what's it called, osteitis pubis, which is effectively like inflammation. Shut your face, pubis. You're such a dirty cracker.
It's so childish. It's why is the word pube so funny? I don't know. Sorry.
For anyone that's listening, I'm just sitting there like glaring at Carl. And Carl's like,
sorry. Anyway, sorry. It is a serious situation.
It's not serious at all. It's just inflammation in that part of your pubic bone.
Yes.
Pubic bone, Carl. I would have a tear in there anyway, like a tear in between the cartilage. But so this kind of osteitis pubis, Carl.
Yes.
It's kind of just going to be there. So the physio, he does Pilates as well. So he's like, well, why don't you come into the Pilates class and we'll kind of start working on Pilates. I can do it with you.
Yeah.
Because currently at the moment, I cannot do anything that would externally rotate that right hip. So he said, what we can do is we can start to modify. So we're working on how to modify things. So this week I'm going to be exploring Pilates for the first time. And I think for me, I've always been such a yogi that I've been like, I'm not doing Pilates. I want to stick with something that I love. And what I love about yoga is the spiritual side of it and how it makes you connect to that side of your vagus nerve and everything. So I've always been a bit like, I'm very black and white sometimes. I'm like, I'm going to stick with one thing. I don't need to introduce another.
Oh, so the idea of introducing the practice of Pilates is kind of throwing you.
I'm almost irked a little. I feel like I'm betraying yoga.
Okay.
I feel like I'm a traitor to it. So yeah, that's going to happen this week.
Just to touch on the yoga thing.
Yes.
To be honest with you, for someone who when it comes to people, I'd be very much like accept people at face value, nearly to my detriment sometimes. We're like,
yeah, you would be, yes.
I'd just be like, no, they don't mean any harm by that. On the other end of the spectrum, I would be very skeptical about anything that comes to like spirituality or like, say when you talk about yoga and the spiritual side of things.
Yes.
I think a couple of years ago would have been like, what a load of bull.
Yes.
I'd be like, that's just a load of nonsense. Yada, 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 yada. By the way, very ignorant of me to say that.
No, it's not. It's not.
No, but that's what I would have thought. But seeing you with yoga and like how even a couple of weeks ago you were doing the course and you came home and you were just telling me about how there was a part where they were talking to you about like having gratitude.
Yes.
And you got very emotional during it.
Yes.
And I was like, Jesus.
Well, I think at that point that was my first time away from well, 5 of you, so that would include Angie and the 3 kids and you. I should really say 4 kids. But they were like, what are you grateful for? What's giving you gratitude? And at that point it was, I'm grateful for Carl. Never really grateful for Carl. I suppose
Yeah.
I'm grateful for Carl, and you're meant to give thanks to that. Like, what are you grateful for? So give thanks to it. So I was grateful for Carl in that moment because I'm like, he is giving me this time. Now, equally, he never turns around to me when he goes to work, be like, I'm grateful to Aisling for minding the kids. That never. I'm not. Wait a second. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you don't do that. I did just say you never do that. But it's not as if you would take a moment to yourself. You would probably say it. Oh, sure, like, yeah, no, sure, like, I wouldn't get things done without Aisling or whatever. That type of thing. Mm-hmm. Whereas you had to silently take a moment in the class and say, what are you grateful for?
Yeah.
And it's like an inward reflection almost.
Okay.
And it made me think of, Carl.
Okay.
And I think because it was my first time being away, like I've been away, but not since Baveen.
And you don't get a chance to
and
do
I
it much.
don't. And I knew it was a whole day thing of like just inner reflection. And I was like, okay, here we go. This is the start. So it was the first part of the class. The eyes were closed and my eyes were streaming. And I was like, please, no one look at me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that has never happened before. So no, it's not that you're ignorant about not knowing about or like thinking that it's a whole lot of whack. But when I first started yoga, to me, I was all about the physical practice of it.
Yeah.
And I suppose in like my latter years doing it, I've just very much been like, I'm gone full haul into I'm loving the philosophy side of it and the spiritual side of it and what it does for us. When I went to Bali, I remember going to one of the temples. It wasn't with you, Carl.
Yeah.
Went to
I was like, what temple did we go to when we were in Bali?
So I remember going to one of the temples and they were saying that like it's the Hinduism. So they just want you to be grateful for something.
Yeah.
And in their temple, they have so many different temples. They have a temple for the farmer. They have a temple for the shoemaker. They have a temple for the tractor maker. They have a temple for the plant man, whatever. They have a temple for everybody. And you go into whatever temple to say thank you to whatever you want to say thank you for. So if you want to say thank you for the maker of plastic bags, you go into that temple to say thank you for my plastic bag for bringing home my shopping today.
Yes.
And they're like, they don't care where you go. They just want you to be present and to have the feeling of being grateful for something. And I think that struck a chord with me. And I was like, we're at that time when I was like, I just need to learn to be grateful and be appreciative and be more grateful for the things.
Yes.
And to give thanks for those things. And I think that's the part that that started twigging me into the spiritual side of yoga.
Yes.
And that's probably where I figured out, like, I would be quite a spiritual person. Yes, I was raised Roman Catholic, but it very much had me realize that we're all like, they don't mind what you are grateful for. They don't mind what you believe in once you're grateful for something.
Yes. Yes.
And that's where I'm like, that's where we're all the same. Like, we're all grateful for a God or whatever, what type of God that might be, once you're grateful for it.
And sorry, it doesn't have to just be a God. It's like
you could be grateful for science.
Yes.
But that's what you preach and that's what you abide by.
Yes.
So that's, I'm like, okay, I can totally get behind something that's like that because it's almost accepting. It's accepting of everybody realistically.
Jeez, you're like, I'm kind of.
That's gone very deep.
Yeah,
sorry.
but I'm actually like, geez, I might start yoga.
There you go. Well, but this is where I'm going to have to come to you now next week because you did Pilates before.
Can I warn you about
You
something?
have mentioned something to me about Pilates before.
So I did.
No, I'm doing mat Pilates. What did you
I did Reformer.
Yes.
So the reason, I'll tell you the exact reason I did Reformer Pilates. I remember reading a thing about Jamie Heaslip, the rugby player.
Right.
He did, but he credited, Jamie Heaslip credited Pilates, and I think it was specifically Reformer Pilates,
yes,
with extending his rugby career.
Yes.
He just said it had a massive impact on his kind of longevity of his career and fending off injury and all of that stuff. So I was like going, oh, well then if it works for him, like I'm going to start doing it. I'm going to get stacked. So I did one class, this is a few years ago, and I hadn't a clue what I was doing, and I basically like yanked on the cables too hard, and I fell into the springs.
Oh,
and
fabulous!
I had to be rescued out. It was one of the most mortifying experiences of my life. Anyway, a few years later, I decided I'm going to go back to that, like just because my back was hurting me. I was like, I'm not doing anything to help myself. I need to go and just like be a bit more proactive. I'll try Reformer Pilates.
You being proactive?
I know, yeah. No, I get proactive for about a week and then
it's gone.
It's gone. So I went to this reformer Pilates class, but beforehand I'd had a coffee, and it was probably half an hour before the Pilates class. Went into the Pilates class. It's a relatively quiet environment, and
you didn't shit yourself, did you?
No,
I
didn't shit myself, but it's along those lines. So
I'm just thinking of what coffee can do sometimes.
This is the thing. The coffee kind of like metabolizes exactly at the time we're starting the class. So there's an awful lot of, I don't know the names of any of the moves when it comes to Pilates, but there's an awful lot of raising your hole into the air, right? And,
okay.
And there's a particular thing you do where the only way I can describe it is you put your feet, Ash, into stirrups, right?
Right.
You know when you were having the kids? And you were there in the stirrups.
Right.
It's like them, but they're kind of like...
I suppose I didn't go into stirrups until I was getting stitches.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was holding your leg up.
The only useful job you did.
It was the only
that is another episode in itself. And Carl Mullan and my labours.
Okay, yeah, we will. We'll get into the labours at another time. But anyway, all I can describe it is you have to like hook your feet into these stirrups, but they're attached to a rope so they can move around. And essentially, when you move your feet, the kind of bed moves. Right?
Yes. Okay, they're probably the clips I've seen. Yes.
And depending on the spring tension, it depends on how much workload you're putting through your legs. Blah, 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 blah. Look, if you've done reformer Pilates, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, all you need to know is when you've just had a coffee, I have a theory now about reformer Pilates. And the reason why people get in such good shape with reformer Pilates, it's nothing to do with core strength. It's nothing to do with working on muscles you've never previously worked on in terms of like your abs or your this or that. Do you know where the strength and conditioning comes from when it comes to reformer Pilates? Okay. It is trying to keep your arsehole shut and to not fart in the middle of the class. Because when you are in this set of stirrups and you're moving your legs around the place in all sorts of directions, and then it means, like, I've never been more spread eagle in my entire life than I was in the reformer Pilates class. And it's a really quiet environment, and the coffee's just hit, and I'm like, sweet Jesus, Mary and Joseph, I am going to fart, and I'm going to let rip here. And I'm just trying so hard to clench every single fibre of my being is clenched.
To close your hole.
Keep it shut. And in fact, it worked.
Okay.
It worked. So I actually feel like that's why you get stacked when you do reform Pilates.
Well, why don't you go back? Okay, now it's time for mulling it over, where each of us kind of discuss things that have caught our eye. What caught your eye this week, Carl?
Oh, okay. Okay, no, this is only the third episode, and this is going to be my second mention of motorsports.
All right, Formula 1, go ahead.
Not actually Formula 1, Formula 2.
Okay.
I want to chat about Alex Dunn.
Right, okay, because you've told me about this already from this weekend.
I'm sure loads of you listening now will be familiar with Alex Dunn. You probably heard about him in the news or seen stuff online about him. He's an Irish Formula 2 driver. Like, Ash, I cannot tell you how excited I'm starting to get. How excited. I cannot tell you how excited I'm starting to get when it comes to Alex Dunn. Because, like, okay, I started watching Formula 1 in like 1998.
Yes.
So
you're about 11?
I was 8.
No, 8, sorry.
8. So
you went 11.
You
were born in 1990.
To give everyone a history lesson that they didn't ask for, in 1998, there was a Formula 1 team called Jordan, which was run by Eddie Jordan, and it was an Irish Formula 1 team. They raced under the Irish flag. Iconic yellow cars. Oh, God, the greatest memories. But they won their first ever race in 1998. That's when I started to get into it. 1999, I was fully hooked. I was the driver called Heinz Harald Frentzen. If you look back through any of my old like copy books and all, it's all like Heinz Harald Frentzen or like Jordan F1. Like, I was just obsessed. I loved.
And then 2 years later, it slowly started to move to Carl Loves
CM
AB.
Loves AB. No, there's
and then there's still Jordan stuff
there's
there.
Carl Mullan Loves AB, in all of those copy books as well. But we grew up in this, like, I grew up watching this golden era of Irish motorsport, where in 1999 in particular, you had the Jordan F1 team racing under the Irish flag, who were winning races and were actually at one point challenging to win the championship.
Yes.
It was magic. At the same time, you also had Eddie Irvine, who was in contention to win the world championship.
Do you remember Eddie Irvine?
Eddie Irvine. So he nearly won the championship. It went down to the last race between him and Mika Hakkinen, and he nearly won the world championship, right? So anyway, as Irish motorsports fans, from about the year like kind of 2002 onwards in particular with Jordan, it really started to like their competitiveness really started to peter out because the world of F1 was changing. It was more about money and it was, you know, all of these different things. They did win a race by fluke in 2003, which was absolutely magic as well. But anyway, like, you know, as we went into the early 2000s, the chances of seeing Irish representation at the very top of Formula One started to peter out. Eddie Jordan sold the team in 2005. Heartbreaking, right? Since then, there's been so little Irish representation when it comes to Formula One.
There's been very little.
Now, by the way, in the
you'll
world...
have, like, in the racing part, however, in regards to the behind the scenes, like,
yes.
there's Bernie Collins and everything over there at the moment.
Absolutely.
Like,
and I also should say as well, in the likes of World Rally Championship, I mean, Craig Breen, who passed away a couple of years ago, he was like, talk about a shining light for Irish motorsport, like an incredible guy. But there's just, in terms of Formula One, which is my love, there hasn't been the prospect of an Irish Formula One driver or someone representing Ireland in a competitive sense, either as a team owner or as a driver, since the early 2000s.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, it might be about to happen. Like Alex Dunn, this year, this is his first year in Formula 2. And the reason why I want to chat about him this week was because over the weekend, just gone, it was the Belgian Grand Prix.
Yes.
And he was on pole position for the feature race. He went and won it in like incredibly difficult situation. Incredibly
the weather
difficult
wasn't great.
Conditions,
yes.
Safety cars, all of this, that, and the other. Now, he ended up being stripped of the win, which, by the way, it was a nonsense.
Yes.
Because it was like a technicality, something that happened with the team. It was what was done wrong with the team had no bearing on the race.
Yes.
And they gave him a 10-second penalty
which
in
is
a race.
A very long penalty.
In a race that finished under the safety car. So it was an even more severe penalty because of how the race had finished. It was a bullshit penalty.
Yes.
So he ended up finishing in ninth instead.
Yeah.
So he did win the race, but in terms of the points that he earned, he only got 2 points. So he should have been top of the championship. Anyway, regardless of all of that, he is fighting for the F2 championship in his very first year.
Yes.
And he is a McLaren reserve driver. And there's not a chance that there isn't Formula One teams that aren't looking at this fella. He's 19. Like, they have to be looking at him going, we really need to consider Alex Dunn as an option as an F1 driver. You know,
so like I think of Maxi because I would be.
You're a Max fan. You're fan. I go in and out of love with Max.
But I'm like, do you know what he is? Yeah,
now.
but I'm like, he is what he is. Aren't they all little spoiled brats?
They all are.
Yeah.
No, they are.
But like, I love him. I love him for it. That's him. Do you know that way? So, what age was he when he started? He was young.
He was 16, I think, when he raced first in
Yeah.
F1. He's been around a while now.
Yeah.
In fairness, he was very young.
He was young.
Started.
So
19, funnily enough, is actually.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, you know,
it's some of them are starting at 17, 18.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he is 100% knocking on the door.
So you think he's making moves this year? Like, he's knocking at the door.
Well, sorry,
to go for
he did
the next year or two
at the Austrian Grand Prix. So because he's a McLaren reserve driver, they asked him. There's a kind of arrangement with Formula One where they have to have kind of young drivers do a certain amount of sessions during the year.
Yes.
Practice sessions. So Alex Dunn did one of the free practice sessions at the Austrian Grand Prix. He was in Lando Norris's car. So take like this into account. He jumps into Lando Norris's car. He's never driven this car in terms of a race weekend, a competitive race weekend.
You'd be nervous enough.
Has to go through setup for Lando Norris's weekend. He's doing work for Lando Norris. Like, it's not just a case of him jump in the car and see what happens. He's having to do setup work for Lando Norris's race weekend. He goes and puts the car into 4th position in the practice session amongst all these other, like, you know, drivers who've been
driving
for a hell of a lot longer and who are much more familiar with the cars.
Yes.
4th place. Like, that is unheard of.
It's giving me goosebumps.
I had to talk about him because, and the other thing I should mention about Alex Dunn as well is kind of given my work in terms of radio.
Yes.
We'd often get like, emails and press releases and this, that and the other. To say his family for years now have been grafting in the background, sending out like, like getting in touch with the radio stations and saying like, look, just so you know, Alex is doing this. This is when he was in like much lower formulas when he was karting, and kind of asking people to get his story out there.
Yes.
They have been working so hard at this for so long, and just to see it all come to fruition.
Yeah.
And we're so close. We are so close to having an Irish Formula
come
1
on,
driver.
Alex.
In the next couple of years, like he is killing it at the moment. So I had to talk about him. I'm so excited. You are.
Do you know what I'm laughing at?
I cannot tell you how excited I am.
Do you know what I'm laughing at? Because your toe is wiggling, you're going round in circles, and poor Angie's hip is worn off her from your elbow, going over and back.
Sorry,
but she's so used to you that she's not even moving.
Oh God, I love Formula
1.
I
know you do. I know you do.
Okay, so, right, mulling it over, what do you...
Well, funny enough, Carl, I'm going sport this week as well.
Go on.
Yeah, I'd love watching the rugby. We're all, Irish rugby fans here in this house. I don't feel we're giving enough support to the women. The Women's World Cup is about to start.
Yeah?
Next month.
Is
the
it
girls,
next month?
Yeah, the girls are playing the first kind of friendly, shall we say, next week on Sunday. Not even next week.
Warm-up match, like.
Warm-up match. And I just feel like there's not enough support. So they brought their new jerseys out there on Friday. I think it's doing a tour around Ireland at the moment. We were in Dundrum on the weekend and we signed they have a huge giant jersey
that they're going to present to the girl.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
So we signed it, and Davey drew his little brush.
Car wash brush.
He loves drawing car wash brushes, so he drew a little car wash brush on it. So I just think if anybody's listened to this, I think we need to get behind the girls more. 100%. I just feel like, look, we're still in the middle of the lines, but we know the outcome of the lines. So like, let's just plough ahead and support the girls a bit more. I mean, there's a fantastic team there. I just think we really need to. I feel we're on the cusp with the women's rugby that because there is no league over here for Irish women's rugby, I feel we're on the cusp of losing some fantastic players. We're not getting enough game experience.
Yeah.
And because of that, the only way of getting game experience is getting more game time and on the match experience. And I feel some of these amazing women are going to go further afield, and once they do that, they won't play. They can't play for Ireland.
It wasn't there the whole initiative 20 by 20, which was coming up to the year 2020. They wanted 20%, I think, of sports coverage.
Yes.
To involve female sports. But it's kind of funny, like, has that faded away into the background now that that's passed? I don't know.
I don't think it has. I do feel like there's a lot more emphasis on women's sport. I just feel like when you put things side by side.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there was a fantastic kind of, was it a 5-part documentary? I don't even know if it's publicly out there, but it's on YouTube. It's called This is Leinster.
Yeah.
A small little series done by the women's Leinster team.
Yeah.
I made you watch it.
Oh, it was amazing.
But it just gave us a great insight into how, and this was only just the Leinster side, and how much these women have to graft. I love watching men's rugby.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge supporter of it. But I think I'm just at a point now, I'm like, I think we all need to side pivot and support the women now.
Yeah.
So these women are in full-time jobs, still training full-time because they need to get up to par with what the other countries are doing as well. And some of these other countries have leagues, so they are paid.
They're professional
rugby players.
In the sense of
these women are teachers.
Yeah.
Some of them are doctors. And they are still taking their time to pump their time into play for Ireland.
Yeah.
They are so proud to play for Ireland. You can see it.
Yeah.
Some of them are playing for Leinster rugby as well. Do you know the way this documentary that we were watching was about Leinster?
Yeah.
So some of them, yes, are for the Irish squad. Some of them are like on playing for Leinster, which again is an achievement in itself. And they're in these full-time jobs still, and then still having to pump their time into these matches.
Same goes, by the way, for the other provinces too. Just this documentary specifically,
And I remember there was a clip in it where the Leinster rugby coach, Tanya Rossiter, said, girls, you should be so proud of yourself. There was a sold-out stadium. we had 2,000 people attending that match.
Mm-hmm.
And this is for a Leinster Six Nations rugby game.
Yeah.
2,000 people.
Yeah.
And to them, that is an achievement. And to them, they're so happy about that.
Yeah.
And that's when I look at it and say, and you put things side by side. And I'm like, for a man's rugby match,
oh yeah,
they are extremely low numbers. But for the women, that's and I was like, we shouldn't be saying that is an achievement.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, it should be a like for like. And I'm actually quite like, I get really like, come on, like get behind the women.
Yeah.
I just think for the Women's Rugby World Cup, I think we just need to pump a load of support behind them.
No, you're so right, because even when you said that there, like the truth of it is, I was like, Jesus, it's next month.
It's next month.
Like,
I don't think there's enough
it's
it's not advertised enough. I just think
the Lions tour has probably overshadowed it in terms of like the coverage. Yeah.
Yes, but then even on the outer circles, like not many people. Like we would always know when the Men's Rugby World Cup is about to start.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of this, we don't know when the Women's Rugby is about to start. And yes, there will be ads coming up to it on the TV, on our social channels. They've just started on our social channels, but I just think there's just not enough behind it. And that's where I feel like there's not enough like for like.
Yeah.
And the fact that these women are still doing full-time jobs, playing for their provinces and playing for their country, playing for their clubs as well, and not getting paid.
Well said.
I just think, let's go for the women.
Yeah, come on.
So that is my mulling it over. I've been really thinking strongly on that this week.
Sorry, how patriotic were the two of us for our mulling it overs this week?
Sorry, we're very Irish.
Yeah, it was very patriotic.
That was not planned.
No, that's great. And in fairness,
So get behind the women.
Yes, come on, Ireland.
Buy your jerseys, buy the jerseys and support them. Go to the matches. Cheer for them. Come on, Ireland. Okay, so we're going to name this part. Let's go to the Lovie listeners.
The Lovie list, yeah.
The Lovie listeners' questions. This is the part of the show where there's a bit of a Q&A from the listeners that have sent into Carl's question box on Instagram.
Yeah.
So, question that came in, Carl.
Go on.
It's actually directed towards me. Thank you very much.
Just to interject for a moment, I'm still getting DMs and people are like, you do know that Ash is the star of the show. You do know your wife is funnier than you. And I'm like, I know this, all right? But then when it comes in that much, you're like, okay.
Well, behind every great man is a even
true.
better woman.
Very true.
Hardy har har. Okay, so this one comes from me.
Okay.
It's asking me the question.
Right.
Why are you in shock?
Should I read it? I don't know what the protocol is here.
No, I always read out the question.
Okay.
Come on. Talk enough. What is the worst thing that Carl has done or shown on air in regards to me?
Oh, jeez. I'm trying to think what it is. Have I ever said something out of turn that I shouldn't have said?
I don't think you have, but I know the situations when you've been on air. And I've just been like, oh, thank.
What have I done? Oh, Christ. I actually have a pit in my stomach feeling. Are these things that you've never pulled up?
Well, no, I've said it to you.
Right.
Like you're on like a national broadcaster station. So like...
What did I do?
Anytime when I am due and you're not on air.
Oh, yes, okay.
So if you've been on annual leave, my messages get flooded. Have I got into labour? I remember going into labour on Davy and you had to leave...
In the middle of the show.
Yeah,
there was no having the baby, keeping it secret. Yeah.
Yes. So I think that's always been... robbed from me.
It was actually mental.
So with Davy and Ayla, on those two occasions, you had to come off air.
So when it happened with Davy, it was when I was on the breakfast show with Doireann and Donncha. Doireann was on holidays. I was with Dunners, and we had literally only started the show. We were very early into it, and then you rang me, and you woke up, and you were like, "Carl, waters have gone," and
You were only about half an hour, 45 minutes into the show.
Oh yeah, we were very early into the show, but I didn't. I definitely, because it was the first baby as well, didn't realise that it's not always like the movies. It's not like the baby's imminent.
Yeah.
So I was like, to say that I was like, see you later, losers, gone.
Yeah.
I was just out the gap.
Yes.
It was literally like, I don't even remember what I said or what happened. Or no, do you know what it was? It was in the middle of the song. I didn't even wait till we came back to another link to explain, like, I have to leave.
Yes.
It was like...
You were gone.
I was just gone.
Yes.
And Donncha had to be like, oh yeah, so Carl's had to leg it. And then it was
remember,
very obvious.
I remember because we were during COVID as well. So like that, you couldn't come with me at the start. And they're like, yeah.
Wait outside the
contractions. I
hospital.
was like, you may as well go home for a bit. And then the contractions started literally they were back to back then from then. And I just remember there was you still officially should have been on air, but I remember there was a farewell retirement party WhatsApp group.
Right.
In work. And I remember the text messages coming into there to discuss. And they knew I was in the group.
And to discuss whether you were in labour. Holy Jesus. Sorry, you think they would have like removed you from the group or something?
No, but I was like, in my head, I was like, no. I was so in denial about this pregnancy. I was so much in denial that I was pregnant. I was so much in denial that there was a baby about to come out of my woo-ha. I was texting.
Yeah.
I was like, this is grand. It's fine. No, we're all good. I text. Because it was, I was messaging Darren because she was like, you go, girl.
Yeah.
And she was away because I remember it was her mum's 60th.
Yeah.
And I messaged her to be like, would Claire mind if a baby is born on her birthday? So even to this day, I still think of Claire's birthday before Davey's birthday. So I'm like,
did he? No, but I don't think he did arrive on her birthday.
No, he arrived the day after.
Because in fairness, here's you thinking the contraction started, it was 26 hours
I
later.
I was messaging Donica, being like, you go, well done you. One of my friends was getting married, and because of COVID, she had about 3 weddings. I had missed the first wedding.
Yeah.
Because my waters broke on that day, and then she was like the illegal part. The following day, she was having kind of a ceremony at home, and it was like the wedding here in Ireland.
And then it was the abroad.
So I missed that one as well because Dave was born on that day. But the day my waters broke, I couldn't go down to the legal part, so I was arranging flowers to be delivered. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
While I was in labour, I was like, "This." I know. I was apologising for missing her wedding.
So that was baby number 1, and then on
Ayla, same thing happened again. Waters broke at the exact same time.
But not even that. It was I was on air again with Donica
the night before Ayla. You had just come back up from Cork
because we were filming the prank show at the time.
You were meant to stay, and not. You said you were him and home about staying down because you were so tired.
Yes.
And I was like, stay down that night, Carly, you'll be fine. And Carl's like, I'm coming. I'm gonna come home.
I'll come home.
Yeah.
And anyway,
and all my babies at this point had come early.
Had gone into work again. We were on air, and we, for some reason, myself and Donica, there was telltale. Do you know what it was?
Darren was away again.
And Angie was acting a bit like she was a bit on edge, right?
Was she again?
She was a bit on edge, and there was a few different factors that I was like, this is starting to feel like how it did with Davey, but I was kind of joking about it.
Yes.
So myself and Donica, I know exactly when it was. We used to do a link.
You were joking.
At 7:10.
Yes.
We do a link, and it was like a bit of a chat. And I was saying to Donica, I was like, "Oh, come here, like, oh, you better be ready. There, I might be abandoning you sometime soon because there's this, and I have this." Has happened, and I think that might be a clue that the baby might become some yada 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 yada. Literally played the song Geronimo.
Yes.
By a band called
Geronimo. Yes.
Say Geronimo. Hit play. Phone goes off. It's you. Waters have gone.
So you were only joking about it on air, and then my waters broke.
Literally was joking about it on air. Your waters, you were breaking while I was in the middle of joking about it, and then had to come back off the back of the song and be like, it's genuinely time for me to leave. I have to go.
So I've done her to thank for that. Thank you.
It was like anyone who was listening to the breakfast show knew you'd gone into labour.
Gone into labour. So I was like, thank you so much for that, Carl.
So you've no privacy.
So 2 out of our 3 children were born or not born, but
yes,
my waters broke while you were on air.
Fair play to Baby, and she played ball. She came in your waters broke in the afternoon with her. Okay, any other? One more question. Let's do one more.
Okay, next question. There's always loads of questions teetering around this, and I also think this could be another episode chat further on down the line. 3 kids, honest opinion, doing them so close together.
Obviously, we've nothing else. We've no other benchmark to go off, but
yeah, because we've never had a gap. I've had friends who have had a long gap and then gone back to it. And everything has changed in that meantime, like buggies, everything.
We probably both need to give our own answer on this.
Yes.
Okay, I'll let you go first. What's your feeling?
I think I'm very much, you get into something and you come out the other side. Like you trudge through.
Right.
So yes, it's a shit show and it's a jungle, and we wouldn't have it any other way because it's absolutely amazing at the same time.
Yes.
You're pulling your hair out at the end of the day sometimes. But I embrace that because I'm like, I am grateful
Yes,
for it.
of course. Yeah.
It's a very short phase. When you're in it, you feel like you're in the trenches. I think if you can do it, go for it.
So I'm actually very much on the same page in that there's times when, look, whether you've one child, whether you've 10, right? It can be grueling.
Yes.
Right? But the ups just like so far outweigh the lows.
Yes.
That like even the days where you're like, we did one of them today.
Yes.
You met 2 women in the park today, and Davy and Ayla were having a conniption.
Well, Davy kicked off because he was so tired, and then Ayla then, because she was like, I'll copy my brother because that's what she does at the moment. She said, I'll kick off too.
And the two women were like going, oh, geez, like we love following you online. They were really, really nice. They're like, geez, fair play, geez, with the 3 kids. He's always seemed like you have it so together. And I was like, really?
Sorry, I said the exact same because she said it to me.
I was ahead.
You were ahead. Yeah. And I was like, does it look like that now? And I actually said that to her. I was like, does it look like that now?
It was absolute chaos. So like there's days when it's just a complete shit show. Like.
Yeah.
But I think, right, the way I would frame it is Davy has just turned 4. And the funny thing is, even though Davy the odd time might have a little bit of a tantrum or whatever like that, as any child would do, for the most part now, it's mad the difference with having a 4-year-old. Like even small things, like if I'm changing Bavian's nappy, I can legitimately go to him and go, could you run upstairs and get me a nappy or get me wipes or whatever?
He's very good.
He's genuinely...
he wants to take part.
Yeah, like you can communicate properly with him. And if something wrong with him, he can communicate that back to you. It is so much easier with him now. So I look at him, he's 4, and I'm like, well, you've got Bavian, who's 6 months old. Fast forward 3.5 years, which we know, Jesus Christ, it goes like that.
Mm-hmm. She's the same age.
To me, it feels like, like then we're out the other end of it. I know there's probably people with kids like that age, like you, absolute.
Oh, I'd say
silly.
You're spearheading into a total different busy phase.
I don't know, but I just think in terms of like the craziness of like nappies and tantrums and sleepless nights and all of that, I think that will be behind us in 3 years' time.
Yes.
And that to me feels like, okay, I can get down with that. I'll sign up for that.
Yes.
As crazy as it is. It feels like the light at the end of the tunnel is a payoff worth it. Jeez, I hope I'm right.
And I would also like to remind that listener that I do not have 3 children. I have 5.
Yes. Okay, yeah. Angie being one of them. Yeah. Okay.
Angie, Davy, Ayla, Baby, and Carl.
What I'll do actually as well
so
is...
I have 5 under 35.
For next... 535. I'll put up another question box before the next episode.
For our lovely listeners.
I did say as well, I'm going to set up a little Instagram.
You did say an Instagram
group.
chat.
I'll do
lovely
that.
Listeners, off we go.
Yeah, let's wait for another few weeks until we have everything properly up and running
Yes.
and all the features and everything like that. We're nailed down. But we will do that at some point. But I'll put up a question box before next week's episode. So if there's any other questions, you can throw them in there.
Good idea.
Go wild.
Oh, yeah.
It was a nice catch up.
It was. We had a nice How Are You Lovey segment.
Yeah.
A nice mulling it over.
Lovely stuff.
I was looking lovingly into your eyes again.
Mm-hmm.
Let's forget the 2 hours where I didn't love you, but sure, look it.
I'll take 2 hours.
I am grateful for you.
Sorry, I actually meant to say that to you when you were doing all of that.
What?
I was like, it has to be said, I'm genuinely very grateful.
I know you're grateful. You don't need to say that.
We're both very grateful.
For each other.
What a nice way to finish the podcast, lads.
Please
rate, subscribe, share, review.
There you go.
Lads, thank you so much for listening.
Thanks
we do appreciate it. We know there's an awful lot of podcasts out there that are competing for your time, and the fact that like so many
would you stop
are
giving
taking the time
lollipops?
Come on, like they're very sound for listening in. I do appreciate it.
We said that at the start of the hour and at the end of the hour.
We love you.
Thank you so much for listening.
We love you. Good luck.
Goodbye, lovely listeners.
I'll see you next week.